Hello guys, this is the 6th episode, and welcome back. And in this episode, we'll be talking about classes. Yes, we have finally talked about classes now. Classes is a really advanced concept for beginner, but Professor Lee will surely explain it to you. And now, what is the point of classes? Well, classes is really important because it allows programmer to code in a object-oriented fashions. And now, let's transfer to Professor Lee, and he will explain it to you.
I'm back, yo. It's your boy Professor Lee, and I'm back. And I got all my confidence back because you guys liked the video, and thank you so much. Alright, thank you very much, and welcome to my lectures. And I'm finally back, and I'll in this lecture, my lecture, I will teach you guys what is an object and how does an object help programming. Alright. Sorry for the messy bear, cause I don't comb them, real men grow bears without combing them, let them grow wild, Alright, anyways, so in a nutshell, if you know how to do object oriented programming, you're literally a fucking god. Alright, yeah, think of it as being holy Jesus when you code, like with object programming. You know why? Because remember, before you have to use all these data type like integer, string, and double. It's kind of like boring, and now you literally say let there be water, and water data type just freaking just spawned. Yeah. Basically you're God. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then here let me show you an example, right? So if you want to create a student object, right? Because why not? Why not? I don't know. Why would you create a student object in first place? But anyways, if you want to create a student object, right? You would a student will probably have the characteristic of a name, the age, classes, and GPA. And you can add whatever function you want to the student as well. The student can learn, can add classes, and these are just some normal functions. And you can add some pretty weird shit too. But not going into that. But anyways, so you basically are God because you just create a student, and these data will be in the program concept. Well, these data will be stored inside the student object. All right, and then the student object can also perform a certain amount of functions. Okay, so you just basically create a being out of nowhere with object-oriented programming, and also objects are very abstract because they're no longer just the primary data type that you used to work with, like integer, number, string, and all that stuff. But now it's a lot more abstract in the sense of this is a student, right? It's a student is an abstract idea. It's an idea that's not like just simply mathematical, and it's more abstract. All right, cut the boring stuff, and now let's dive into today's real example. All right, this student example is kind of trash. Coding with Tim forced me to talk about this example because it's so generic and it's boring. And let's jump into my example. And my people, where you at? Now I get to talk about anime waifu. Yes, you are holy Jesus, and I was correct. Because why? Because you can code, you can make your own anime waifu with coding. Yeah, you never thought about that? It's great. Alright, so anime waifu, we can create an object of anime waifu, right? And well, you can have a name for the anime waifu, right? You can also, the character also can have the anime that it's come from, right? That can be data stored in. And wait, why is age here? Huh? What? Who put it there? I crossed it out. What the? Oh shit! Is that FBI? Oh, okay. I need to take care of some business.
A few moments later.
Whew. Sorry, I'm back. I was taking care of some business, and back to our lecture. All right, back to our lecture. Anime waifu, and it can also have all sort of other function. Right now, I'm just stating the minimum. Same mal. That's pretty basic, Yeah, yeah, you can ask on a lot of other weird stuff. Mm-mm. I don't want to mess with the YouTube system, so I'm not gonna talk about them. But for just I'm just gonna leave it to your imagination. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so you might ask, cool, I can be freaking God. I could be like, it's like Minecraft in creative mode or some shit. But yes, that is correct. Yes, that is what object-oriented programming enable programming to do, and that's why it is so useful. Instead of just like being dumb, just like survival mode, and then you just limit yourself to the power. But now you're in the creative mode, and you can literally be God. Yeah. All right, that's it for me, my lecture, and then I'm transfer it to coding with him, and he's gonna code waifu. I'll make him code anime waifu as an example in ellipse. That's it for me. I'ma sign out. All right, now back to the coding example. Yes, I'm sorry, you guys. Professionally have to make me code anime waifu. For those who you guys who don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of being forced. Yeah, I'm being forced. It's not like I want to. I don't want to. No. Anyways, so in our code, so what we're gonna do first is that we have to create a new file. All right. To create a new file, you simply hover over your first project right here, and then you just create a new class, and then you will just name it whatever class name that you want to give it. In this case, we're just gonna do anime waifu, and what? There we go. Now we're in a new file, and in this file, we will be coding our first class. And so, what does let's start with the characteristics, shall we? So what should anime waifu have? Well, obviously name. And to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a private variable with the string data type called name. So why is it private? You see, this is public and private. So private is that private data are only being accessible within the class, so it's not accessible outside of the class. And a good programming technique, or I guess practice, will be making all your characteristic private, so that it would be safe. Think of it like a claw machine, right? You don't want the all the good stuff inside being always takeable. Then you would just people just take it out. But what you want to do, you want to put a glass around it, so protect it. But then you put like a claw machine, like a control, so that you can grab the thing, and then for the user can grab it out. So this is basically what the best practice is. So basically making everything private, and then later on we're gonna create accessor and modifier to change it, and I'll just show you in a second. So other than name, probably the anime name that it came from, anime. And you can add as many data type as many data in here as possible. Right now I'm doing 2. And so what's next is that we need a constructor. So a constructor is kind of like when you create this object, it will initialize the data inside. So here, then in this case it has to be public, because we want the outside other files to be able to construct this object, or else they will not be able to construct it. So public, in this case we just do anime waifu. This is how you declare a constructor. And so there's 2 type of constructor: a default constructor and a non-default constructor. if you're lazy, you just do you can choose either one to your liking, but in the best way to program, it will create both. So in this case, we will create a non-default constructor and a default constructor. So let's start with the default constructor. So in this case, if the user, actually no, I'm gonna start with the non-default constructor so you can see why there should be a default constructor. Now, so think of this also like a function. So this is the parameter, and we're gonna take in a end data and a data, and an end data will be set equals to the name. I mean, the name will be set equals to the end data, and the NA will be set equals to the A data. So what this does right here is that when the user declare an anime waifu, the first parameter, they have to put in the name. So they will put the name of the anime waifu in the first parameter, and the anime came from in the second parameter. But however, sometimes people are lazy and they don't create they don't pass in any parameter. So in this case, we just create a default constructor where we automatically set the name of the waifu into we have to initialize the waifu. So we just set it into a blank. So in this case, it will not give an error when they simply just create an anime waifu without passing any parameter, and it would just be like a blank waifu. And now let's go to the functions, your guys' favorite part, and that's what gets Professor Lee the most excited about for some reason. I don't know why, but he gets pretty hyped whenever he gets to code his waifu's function. I don't quite understand, but he keep calling himself a man of culture. So I don't know. I'm not gonna tell him, but here we will start with the function. So he wants me to create a say mail. Okay. So say mail. So what we're gonna do in say mail is that I guess we would just print out mail. So like that. So this is just like a function that you see before. It would be like this. It would say public void say mail. However, there's no static because before, when we do the main function in the main class, we didn't create an object. We were just calling its own function. So that's why we have to add a static right here. So what a static means is that when it's a static reference, that means that you don't need to create a specific data in order to call the function, and you can just set the class and then it will call the function itself. However, but if you're creating a single anime rifle, for example, Toka-chan, right, and then what we have to do with that is that this function would be special to Toka-chan in that sense that you have to create a Toka-chan and then Toka-chan say mail, and then Toka-chan will say mail. But if it's a static reference, then it would just be anime waifu in general say mail. So, and I will show you why in a second. But before we do that, we want to do our accessor first and modifiers. So to create an accessor, it will just be like a function, and then we will return the name. So it will be called get name. We'll return the name of the waifu, and then we need an accessor for the anime. So we will say get anime. And you usually say get and then the variable name. That's like a standard way of coding a class. And we can do set name. So we will set the name. So this will take in the string parameter, and or set it equals to the name, and then set anime. Yeah, it's a lot of people hate doing this and they get lazy, but it's a good coding. It's a good coding habit. My bad. It's a good coding habit. All right, so we have our anime waifu class, and now let's create our anime waifu. So, all right, so we'll declare just like a variable, put it in front, anime waifu, and then we would, okay, what was the name? What was the name that Professor? Oh, it's Toka. He said that's his waifu, and let's create this waifu, and then so what we do, we just do new waifu, and then the first, well, remember it was name, and I believe it's called Toka ya Togami, and the second parameter, remember, was the anime is from, I believe it's from Day Alive. Is that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Professor Lee told me. And now you just create your waifu, and this is what you just created. And then what you can do is that you can, when you so let's see. Well, let's see. Let's test out accessor and modifier. Print line toka. Let's say get name, and you can add other stuff like hi, my name is. You can do something like this, and let's run it. Well, hi, my name is Toka Yatogami, and then long have you probably waiting for is that we're gonna test our functions, and let's say, so what we do, we just get the name of the variable, and then we put a dot. And that would then allow you to use the function. So let's say toka dot say meow, and now let's run it. Say meow. That's kind of cute. Anyways, so basically this is a class, and you see how you have to say toka.say meow. If you just say meow, it wouldn't work, because this is not because you have to get the data type. You have to get the data, and then the object, and then it has to say meow. So, but if it's a static function, if the say meow is a static function, what you would do in this case, let's make it static. Static. If it's a static function, then you would have to you cannot just say toka that say meow. You have to do anime waifu that say meow. And in this case, and if you run this, it will say meow. But if you say toka that say meow, it wouldn't work, and vice versa. So basically, this is your first class, your anime waifu class, and this is just a really simple one. You can add more to it, and you can probably even make a visual novel out of this. But the sky's the limit. So this is it, and this is your first class, and I hope you understand it, and I hope this example helped. I wouldn't say this is a really good example. I like the student example better because it's more generic, but and most coding tutorial use that anyways, but Professor Lee forced me to use anime waifu, but so I have to do it. So this is it, and hope you enjoyed the video, and peace. Bye bye.